Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What is popping out?
Yo, we love showing Tez weird Alex Jones stuff because the reaction that he has.
Usually we don't subject the guests to this shit. But anyway, so moving on.
Speaking of which, BlackLiq has been on lots of radio, including WRIR, which we're repping for.
Rocking the shirt.
Yep, and WDCE. He's been a promoter, journalist, author, teacher, mentor, public speaker. He's a professor at various universities and all kinds of things. A TED Talk speaker.
Ooh.
We're going to ask him about that. During the civil unrest in 2020, he was interviewed and quoted by The Post and NPR and Time Magazine, a bunch of things. He wrote some editorials for college newspapers and a bunch of other stuff like that. But we want to talk to him because he is also musician.
Very talented.
We've been playing
his
his
been
records.
listening to the songs.
Yep, he's got 2 albums with Mopes on Sage Francis Strange Famous Records. Time is the Price and Choice is a Change, as well as an EP, What Will It Take, on Man Bites Dog Records, which we had label mate on last week and a couple weeks ago. Yep. And legendary producer Obliv, and he's a vocalist on the Beat Punk Band and a bunch of other stuff. The guy does a lot of things in music. Shit. He's really talented. BlackLiq, welcome to Chip Chat.
Hello.
What's poppin'?
Yo.
Good delivery.
Look here, man. I've been sitting here watching y'all riff about this whole political thing, dog. And I don't know if y'all know it now, but I watch Fox News, yo.
That's unfortunate for you.
I watch Fox News a lot because it is the most entertaining network on television. It is Comedy Central reborn.
Yes.
Okay, and so I watch CNN. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got Fox Nation, dog. I'm in it to win it.
Oh, you're in it. He's a paid subscriber.
Yeah. So look, we got that shit as a joke, and I fucking kept it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. So to hear you guys talk about this stuff was fucking phenomenal and thrilling. I was holding it in so much. I didn't even go get coffee. My cat might have died on the fucking floor. No. Like, no. It was so serious to hear you guys talk about what these guys do. And, your commentary about how the Republicans just want to see this shit like not work and not happen. And they want no government. No, what they want a zombie house so they can build a prison.
Yeah.
And that's the idea, is let it fall apart, because we already know how to delay it and how to stretch it. They understand elasticity of truth and the manipulation of fact to the point that they can reshape and remold it slowly through distortion. So procedurally speaking, the procedure will never work for the other side, because the other side is the other side. And they also know that the other side operates within a system which is age old at this point, and they've mastered the game. So they're trying to wait till they can get the lowest common denominator, Trump, so that then they can then go ahead and try to do this whole thing where it's not about will it work. It's we want to fuck this shit up so that we can say that it's gonna work. Because look how long, like it's like I got sober. I've been sober for like 11 years, right? And I've told people before, like I've spoken in meetings and shit. And like the thing is, it's like, yo, when you get sober, you're not an alcoholic till you quit drinking. And then you get sober and you go through years of like your bullshit. You have to go through the layers of year after year of all your previous bullshit before you can even experience your new reality. So they're going to do that thing too. They're going to be like, oh, we have to get through so much. It's not working because of them. But they're going to justify it further and further. And they've got so many well-developed institutions, but especially within the media, which they love to demonize when they are the exact same fucking thing. And they're going to go ahead and create a system that perpetually keeps people kept in a loop where nobody wins. Nobody wins except for the people that are already in it, because it's a coin, and a coin, it doesn't matter what side of a coin you're on when it's about the value of the coin. They're going to keep getting theirs.
It's this old adage of like Republican electoral politics, which is government is not the solution to your problems. Elect me and I'll prove it.
Oh, look here. And on top of that, though, and the proof is because also the Democrats, like, fuck them too. And a lot of times, like, a lot of them are in positions where they're not able to do something, or they're using the rhetoric that's so easy. They need to innovate as well in their expression in order to motivate people to go further forward in what the actual, like, what change looks like. And it's very difficult to find anybody that you can feel like, because think about it, yo, right? Like, think about it. Like your man Brian, right? Like his open girlfriend, right? Boobert, right? Boobert, as they call it, right? So, like, think about this. I would have sex with Lauren Boebert, right?
Sure.
Boebert. Like, all of us would have sex with her, right? That's like a whole, because she looks like a troll, but I bet you in person the bitch is nasty. But like, as far as when you see on TV,
according to that security video, she's pretty nasty.
yeah, I mean, but yo, she looks attractive in night vision. She got Paris Hilton syndrome. On a regular light, it ain't gonna work. So, like, you think about this, right? She looks like that and she's attractive in that sense. But they don't have, ideally, besides like maybe AOC, they don't have anybody who's a Democrat that you would actually want to have sex with. So they have to go ahead and create somebody that they can trope to the most base of disrespectful things to the aspect of the individual in order to get people to maybe pay attention for a second. Yeah, I mean, they have all the people who are already in it. You have to have a different level. It has to be like subterranean. Like your man was talking about trolls and shit. Like, we need some real Democratic trolls to come through to offset the rhetoric of the politicians. They tried to use that RFK dude, the dude with the whiny voice from whatever the fuck. They tried to use him, but his voice is fucked, so he can't get away with it. He's not marketable. And he has that whole, like, y'all seen South Park where they do the Amazon guy and he's all diesel and shit?
Yeah.
He's got that weird HGH thing going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's real hard, but you're always tripping off of what you always talk about, because it's so great to hear people talk about, like, the fact that the truth is that this is our dysfunctional family and there's no way out. We're P. Diddy and the fam right now, yo. There is no fucking way out. And what are we supposed to do? We got to write another year of this bullshit just for more bullshit. And they're going to use
not
these.
Even get to that. We're going to get to
it's all fucked up now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all fucked up now.
Oh no, they're either gonna CR or they're gonna motherfucking run a few like little pieces of bullshit. But like, it doesn't fucking matter. Or that's why they don't care. They're so comfortable now that they don't even matter. It's like when a nigga cheats on a broad, you know what I'm saying, and he cheats on her over and over again because at this point he knows he can just fucking do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so
that is it.
And we just sit here and we look at the phone and hope he's gonna come home, right? You know what I'm saying? That's who we are. We're the fucking abused
on their own voters all the time. They keep getting elected and they keep delivering nothing for them.
But a two-system party in this country at this point
two-system party. Well,
it's one party.
It is, but even that doesn't work.
Have you ever read The Pearl?
I have not.
In The Pearl, they talk about how the pearl is about how the giant pearl, the motherfucker gets the giant pearl and he goes everywhere trying to sell the joint. He takes it down because he lives in like a little fishing village. He takes the pearl to the village, like to the market, right? And he tries to sell the pearl. And they're like, yo, we ain't buying that shit. It's too big. And he's like, what do you mean? This is like the best version of everything y'all are selling. And he tries to take it to the other people. And then he realizes they're like, it's too big too. Yo, we can't fuck with this. And then they realize that both sides are owned by the same parent company. And so they can't out-compete each other to a gigantic or exponential level, because that'll disrupt the actual psychological game they run on creating false competition. You know what I mean? And that's what this game is, yo. It's the same thing. It's a shell game, yo. And like, what are we supposed to do? Because I say this and I watch Fox News because I don't have the solution, yo. Besides hustling hard and doing all the things that you just said I fucking do. I don't have a solution to solve the problem besides influencing people around me and trying to be the example and the change that I want to see.
So
you know
we don't have a solution either, which is why we keep doing.
That's why we do this dumbass show every week.
But let's ask you like some things that you do have the answers to.
Brian has the open solution. Boobert.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Brian and his flying cars and Lauren Boebert. That's
he
the
loves
solution.
Flying cars.
You only said Beetlejuice twice.
Let's start with you're a real radio guy. Right?
Yeah,
you're on the real radio. So how are we doing so far? Are we doing all right? Are we pretty good?
Oh, it's interesting to see because I wasn't sure which way we were gonna go with this whole thing. You guys are better AM than FM, but like I definitely think that your podcast fits best because of the long form discussions and the honesty. Everything has to be succinct and cut into little small slots. The higher you go on commercial radio, the more everything becomes really about like hot pockets. And you guys are making pizza.
There you go. Hey,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Take it. Brian, did you record that? We can use that.
God
That's
gracious. Yo, you're inflated his head once more. A couple more
are pizza.
PSI.
All right. So you've been making music for a long time, and you've
Facts.
been speaking to the youth for a long time. Do you feel that both music and speaking to the youth as a teacher are necessary ways to meet young people where they're at so that they can hear what they need to hear?
I think you can't meet them where they're at if you don't, through those mediums, if you don't meet them where they're at first. One of the things that I hate is that when an arts integrated, motivated teacher or a teacher who's actually using art to try to reach the students comes through and speaks like, hello, children, we're going to do this. Like, I treat them like anybody out the block. Because this day and age, what is sophistication, what is maturity, and what is understanding? We all have access to an unfathomable amount of information. So what I try to do is meet them in places of certainly common exposure. But the brilliance of the youth is in the fact that they don't know, whereas the ignorance of the adult is that we apparently do know.
Yeah.
So it's that small little gap where you can actually reach them, and then you can actually get them to engage those things as more than just products.
Because a lot of your music is carrying a message, right?
Absolutely.
When I listen to it,
Right.
it sounds, you're pouring your soul into it, but also it's not just catchy beats. It's not just catchy lyrics. It's like, hey, this is something that I think y'all need to hear.
It's substantive.
It is. It's a lot of substance. And like, but I know you're also a teacher. So like, I'm wondering, like, do you find that people are absorbing that message more readily through music, or are they absorbing it more readily through what you do in the classroom? Or do you think that you need both things to happen in order for the message to be delivered?
Well, like for instance, I teach at Sabbath at Stony Point, and it's a Reggio Emilia school. So there's a lot of self-led teaching and a lot of process-oriented and reflected, like built curriculum. That's what the entire school is based on. So I get to operate within that framework. Like when you talked about what I did with the university, what I do with the universities, I work with a nonprofit called Partners in the Arts, and I teach at University of Richmond usually once a summer, and I teach teachers from that K to 12th grade teachers. And so what I can do is I can use a lot of the same things and techniques and approaches that I use on the students to make the teachers open themselves up and be receptive as well. Because most of it, honestly, the thing that is in the way is all the suppression. Rules of suppression, your ideas and individuality are suppressed through either institutions and authority figures on both ends of that spectrum, or actually just trying to fit in within society, or not trying to be, I guess, who you really are, because you think that'll stop you from being who you might be able to become by being affiliated with others. So like you have to deal with all these false ego-based and social constructs in order to get people to access themselves. So the common thread of what I teach or how I teach, whether it be through music or just through conversation, because a lot of the teaching of my music class is based through the conversation. Like for instance, if you don't write a rhyme, right? Like one of my students, he ain't write a rhyme, you know what I'm saying? First week, we on the second day, dog, you ain't writing a rhyme, what you mean, right? So I step to him, same exact like that, right? But we have because I ain't playing, but we have a conversation about why you didn't present your rhymes. Tell me about the experience that you had when you sat down and couldn't find the words, because the process is where you find your self-identification. So that's what I focus on, and that's how I reach people. And that's why my music also was very much, built on my own narratives of all the fucked up shit in my life. But it's also based on the fact that I want people to see that you can use all of this. It's all fuel. It's all something for you to build with, because, the only foundation you're ever really going to have in life is rock bottom.
What's the biggest issue, BlackLiq, do you find like through K through 12, like teaching currently? Like if you were to like make a change in it, what would you change first?
Great question.
One is the state, the whole like standardized thing. Like, think about this, right? Nobody learns the same way.
Yes.
And so we teach the same. We're trying to reach a core audience, a core demographic. It's basically a commercial record. You're trying to reach a certain group of people so that you can go ahead and get a certain amount of acknowledgement or success through qualitatively speaking through testing, so that you can then get funding to keep the system going, because the system itself is broken and underfunded. So we have a problem where you have teachers who are demoralized. You have students who know that they really don't matter unless they fit within the box. And most of them are circles, not squares. And you have this combative situation where it's just like, we just got to get through the day. And then you have people who actually care, and that's why they show up. And so it's like, I think that the hardest thing to do is to make everybody recognize that they have value, because we live in a cost-oriented society, and our education system is created to build and educate a consumer. It's not created to make you somebody who can become a provider. At best, you'll be an educated consumer. So you have all these things that are contradictory to the actual process of what are we trying to do? We're trying to teach and we're trying to learn. I think this, the teacher should do more learning and the students should do more teaching in a lot of cases.
I wonder about, like, you know, in human history, before education was sort of formalized, right?
Mhm.
But we obviously were, as a species, relatively successful. Look at where we are now.
Because we tell stories. We're good at telling
But
stories.
not just that we're good at telling stories, but that, like, you learn different things from different people in the village.
Yeah.
And the village taught the children. And if you think about it, like, if you look at a high school, you have a lot of teachers in a high school.
Mm.
You have different, all these different subject teachers and even different levels within the subjects and all that kind of stuff. And you might look at that and go, well, all right, that's a pretty good village. It's like half the size it needs to be in terms of, like, different kinds of, let's call them village elders,
Right.
who might have different experiences, who can meet those kids in the needs that they need to create or perpetuate the village as it needs to grow. What we're doing is narrowing. You're playing to that bell curve and you're leaving out anybody who's outside of the average.
Oh, but even more, you're labeling them, and the labels are one of the most harmful aspects.
You're creating this you're different, you're wrong, you need medication, whatever. Like, it's and think about all the lost capability, talent, capacity.
I don't want to think about that.
Like, all of the things that might have been accomplished for us as a species if we'd have paid attention to that one weird kid.
Yeah,
it's loss.
It's a huge problem. And I mean, most of the teachers, they point to the fact that they got a job to do one thing, to teach and educate young people. And that's the one thing they're not allowed to do.
They're not allowed to do that.
You're allowed to read a thing that somebody said. Yeah, you're allowed to give people a test, but you're not allowed to help them pass the test. You're only allowed to train them on how to regurgitate the information so that you can continue to get paid. Because as long as we can get paid, this bullshit can keep coming. I mean, if you think about it, in a lot of ways, it's just like the Republican shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all just
exactly that.
Yeah, and when the system breaks, like one of the closest examples of the system breaking we've had, my cat is going crazy. She doesn't like politics. One of the craziest things, her name is Grace Jones, though. What do you fucking expect?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But like the thing is that when we had the COVID shit and people, like parents, had to deal with the fact that they actually hate their kids.
That was wild.
Yeah, like those weird little psyop experiences also further, think about it. Those things further saying, just get the kid back in school. Get the kid back in school. We lost so much in progressive education because a lot of people just realize, I don't want to deal with this shit. And how do we get here, yo? I don't know, besides the fact that, like, it's an exhausting process, this whole life thing. And it's getting harder and harder, yo.
Really what we're talking about. I mean, COVID was this opportunity that people were spending time with their kids who they could have gone out in nature and just experienced the world and they could have learned collectively.
Every day I was out with my child. Every day I was out.
And that's what we did. We were out, like, playing with stuff and exploring and seeing the world, like going to the creek and doing whatever. And like, those experiences are invaluable. But if you think about all the people who were just trying to get the kids out of the house so they could go back to doing nothing or work.
Yeah, and this is not to the people who, like, I get if you have a job, you're trying to that, but to the folks who are like,
we struggled at it, we had to do it, you know, but we did it in shifts or whatever. But the point is, exactly what you said, that people realized they didn't really want to be around their kids for 8 hours out of the day. You know, they could only tolerate them in the morning before school and after school. What if we didn't have school? What would we be doing? You know?
Oh, we'd be
kids.
We'd be beating each other up, yo.
Well, but are we the same species that survived, like, saber-toothed tigers attacking us and shit?
No.
Where we behaved collectively and worked as a village, or are we somehow past that and lost that ability?
We never. I don't think we ever did, yo. I don't think that there was as much cooperation as people think. What happened is that you got to think, who's history told by? The victor, right? It's later on research and
don't know how to write, so that's a problem.
You get your ass kicked, right, or you kick some ass. And then after that, you learn how to make money or whatever it is to provide leverage socially. And then you find people who will accept it. It's that rich dad, poor dad shit. You know what I'm saying? Where he was like, that still accept how much they're getting paid. So it's not exploitation if it's accepted. But that's the problem, is that we have become so comfortable with being exploited constantly that we are, like, as an artist, like, look at the streaming situation. Subway sandwiches, yo. Like, what the fuck, yo? And I found out a foot long is like $8 now. This inflation shit is real.
And
but
then,
like how many times does somebody have to stream my shit for me to get a fucking Subway sandwich? Those kinds of things make your art disposable. We're in an era, right, where Nas dropped an album like 2 months after the previous one.
Yeah,
think about that.
That's crazy.
And yo, they were talking about it all last week, and I haven't seen a single word about Nas's most recent album. You know, like, and if they are, they're not talking about the one before.
It's the Hit Boy one, right? He did another one with Hit Boy.
Yeah, he did Magic 2. Yeah. I mean, Magic 2 and 3. Yeah.
So I want to ask a question to take us back to like a little bit before like the streaming piece, because listening to music, I was hearing you talking about like passing out mixtapes hand to hand. Give me your best hand to hand mixtape story.
Y'all want to go somewhere, huh? You want to go there?
Exactly. I want to go back to let the kids know how it used to be.
Are y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So look, my man White Pie, right? My man White Pie, great dude, had tons of bread. I never asked him for the bread. It was love. It was family, right? He inspired me. He was a hardcore partier, and he had the great weed, right? White Pie said to me, he was down. They do a thing. They like 106.5 used to do this thing down at Browns Island, whatever. They Beat Fest or type shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the joint I played with the Roots and shit. It was like the joint with like they had fucking like Jim Jones shit like that, right? So fucking every year they do this thing. It'd be at Browns Island, and Browns Island is like a place where you can go down. It's in the middle of downtown, and it's a gathering of a lot of people. So White Pie, it was like, we should go down there and pass CDs. I'm gonna give you the White Pie voice. He was like, we should go down there and pass CDs out. And I was like, yo, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this thing, right? So I found myself in a situation, right? Because again, I'm doing this dolo, all me. I'm burning CDs. I'm writing on them with Sharpie, and I'm folding them in paper cases, right?
You have a song about that where you're talking about phone numbers on the disc.
Yep. So 500 CDs, I believe, was the fucking goal. Some ridiculous shit. It's between 250 and 500.
A lot of CDs.
A lot of CDs, a lot of writing, and they were being burned at 16x.
Oh man, damn! See, people don't even understand that.
That took days.
It's a lot of burning.
No, what it took was me being up 36 hours.
I was gonna say that's what it took.
So
how many discs at a time with a burner?
50. I one disc at a time. Man.
Oh God, okay, all right, okay. Just one.
I'm using the desktop, dog. I'm using my shit.
Cool. Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm sitting here and I'm burning all these CDs. I'm surrounded by paper cases. I got as far as I can. Got the callus on the hand, all that shit, right? And so fucking I go as long as I can because we got to get out there for the day. So like, I pack up all my shit. I'm telling you, we did at least 250, right? So at least 250 discs, we'll say, right? Okay. 250 discs. I go to White Pies. Now, White Pie, he had like all the shit that everybody talks about now. He had a rapper weed before niggas knew what that was, right? So like White Pie's like, smoke this real quick. So we sit in his home movie theater and shit. We smoked like this crazy ass weed that he got out of a paint drum. It was fantastic, right? And fucking shit is murderous. So now it's time to go out and fucking deal with the people. So now I gotta go down to Browns Island and pass out these CDs, right?
Smack the shit.
But you got no motivation because you
look here. I know I lived in a haze, you know what I'm saying, of weed and alcohol all day. I drank on empty stomach by preference, and I smoked a quarter pound a month before niggas knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter to me because the thing is, the difference between me and the average cat is that I'm not afraid to die. So I'm gonna do everything I can to live because death is the ultimate release. It's not an escape, it's a release. So the relief that you hear about in NDEs all the time and shit, that's when you realize that none of this bullshit matters. Motherfucker, oh, you're hungry? I'm starving. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm starving, I'm still not stopping until I'm motherfucking done with my work. Then I can maybe fucking eat for a second. But I know that my mind is capable of so much more than my body's telling me it is. So I'll go out and I go through still to this day. But the thing is with White Pie, let's go down there and do this. So we go down there, right? And this is the thing that I discovered. After walking down the sad row of artists all standing out, just handing out their mixtapes, right? Sad trap nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, yo, this is my mixtape, yo. This is my fight, man. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I'm in the middle of the crowd type shit. I'm catching the choke points. I'm going. And I realized that I had the ability to read a person's aura and decide who was going to accept the CD. I used the same technique when I went to Soundset for the first time. When Atmosphere invited me out there, I went to Soundset and I passed out 250 CDs. And how much did each CD cost? A conversation. So In this situation with White Pie, I went through this whole daily experience, this whole long day, all day thing, and I handed out CD after CD. I pointed. He was like, "I'll pass him out." So I was like, "He's like, you got to pick people though." So I could look and I could tell who was gonna take it and who would just be like, "Nah." So I pointed him out. I had about a 98% effective rate on that day. You know what I'm saying? And boom, I got him out. And when we walked back, the best part, right, was at the end of the shit. You know what I'm saying? When everybody's left and we're finally walking out, everybody has to leave the same way, right? 250 CDs. I only found people left like 6 of them on the ground. Oh. And what did I do with them CDs? I fucking picked them up and passed them out to somebody else.
Exactly, of course.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that in tandem with the idea that I went out to with Soundset, I paid somebody to burn CDs for me because at this point I can't be going Sharpie. You know what I'm saying? Slug hit me, gave me the VIP, all access shit. So I was all over Minneapolis and I was like, I'm gonna pass out CDs and I'm not gonna do it on some bullshit. I'm gonna have conversations. Dude stepped to me. I thought I was gonna beat the shit out of him and instead he was like, "Oh, I'm just playing, bro." But I had all kinds of great experiences where I handed out CDs. And when I was at the back of the hotel, I gave these guys a CD. And I kicked the Green Onions joint for him a cappella and shit. Cause I told him like, I'm out here. I'm just, doing this and this. And when I got on Soundset's bill, like 3 or 4 years later, those people fucking remembered me and tweeted me and said, "Yo, you made it." You know what I'm saying? So there's 2 for y'all. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That's a great story.
So man. Speaking of you handing out records and stuff, we met at the hip hop shop at the show that Count Fifth had his record.
Yeah.
You performed there. You were fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed your set. I know you've been doing some more stuff. How's the summer tour season been for you?
It has been fucking strange and famous. Like it was wild, man. Like right before like y'all saw me, I went on tour with my band with Armageddon Time. So I did a punk rock tour, right?
Right.
And we played a festival in Arkansas called Mutants of the Monster Fest. It's like a mini fest and it's like in Little Rock. And like that whole experience was fucking great because like we went to North Carolina and then to Tennessee and we played different dates in each place, a lot of vills. And then we ended up in Arkansas, you know what I'm saying, and fucking rocked that place out and shit. And that was really amazing. And then I came back to Richmond and I had to fly out to Denver for Strange Famous Fest, you know what I'm saying? And in Denver, when we did that shit was absolutely incredible, astounding. Like Sage gave us an opportunity as a whole label to get together and have this thing when he could have just took a check. And instead he said, I'm gonna have everybody come out and we're gonna do a big show for Denver to show them what we are cohesively as a label. And my travel experience, and this is the main thing of tour season, the travel experience has been fucked up. Airports are terrible, yo.
They're bad right now. It's real bad.
It's real bad. They canceled my flight from North Carolina to Denver when we were boarding, son. You know what I mean? I was about to walk on a joint, and they were like, "It's dead." And they didn't just delay it. They delayed it till 10 in the morning the next day. And then they stuck me in a fucking Clarion, dog. You know what I'm saying? They stuck me in the Clarion, the hood joint. You know what I mean? So I'm in the hood joint, and then I had to fly out from there. But yo, here's the crazy part, right? And this is the universe. And this is what I really try to tell people, man. You got to believe in the universe because the universe is you. And you got to believe in yourself. The fucking shit, yo. I put up a post about how how bad my travel situation was. And my man Bill, who's the DJ for Atmosphere with Ant, right? You know what I'm saying? He fucking saw my post, hit me up. They just played a festival in Denver. And he was like, "Hey, yo, I saw your post, bro. What's happening? We're going to be at the airport at 11:30. And he was like, our lobby calls 11. We'll be there like 11:30. What time is your flight get at the airport? 11 a.m., yo. So I ended up linking with my guys. And then I found out that Slug was on a sneak attack and was coming to Strange Famous Fest. So like it all came together. And like that's the whole thing. The summer, the traveling was hard, but it was great. I went to Rhode Island and did a show at the end of the summer, right? And it was my first time using TSA PreCheck, which is fucking crazy. If y'all don't have PreCheck, yo.
PreCheck.
Oh my God, yo.
Magic.
It is.
Everybody in the PreCheck line they look so happy.
But I think you look so happy. Take your belt off, just put your shit, walk through.
When I saw the checkout in Denver, I said never again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The security check, I happened to finesse that, but I said never again. I got my PreCheck, and that was my maiden voyage, you know what I'm saying, to Rhode Island, and that shit, like, it was
sailing.
Oh my God, yo, peanut butter met fucking jelly on wheat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Dang. Like that shit took sliced bread to another level, yo, diagonal. You know what I mean? Crustables, yo, and Uncrustables. A little bit of preference.
Y'all fly more than me. I ain't got that yet.
Well, I do for work.
Yes.
So I had to get the pre-check, but it's been a huge...
Everybody in that line looks very happy.
Yeah, it's so relaxed.
Yo, what fucking line? You know what I'm saying? There is no line.
The person,
you walking straight through, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody in that
other
club
people are
looks a lot happier.
If you fly through a lot of small airports, the pre-check is the same line as the regular, but they give you a little card that you get through a different scanner. That's the only thing. But all right, so I'm glad you had a good tour season. I like that story. It's a really good story. You've done a real TED Talk. Now on this show we have Tez Talk.
Yes.
Where Tez pretends to talk about dead ass birds or whatever's going on.
No, I just talk about climate change and how those
look at these dead ass birds like that. So, do you have any pointers that you can give him about how to give a proper TED Talk?
Oh, yo, do you all? I'm gonna tell you like this, yo. A lot of people don't know this shit, right? I'm gonna put y'all on. I was just talking about the TED Talk yesterday. The shorty and shit. Check this out, yo. So with TED Talks, there's like rules. Like you're supposed to have like a person that like is your trainer or whatever that you rehearse with, and you like build a better TED Talk structurally. You do a practice of it. You make sure that you present it to the panel like the day before, and you walk through the whole thing, and then you do it later. And you have to add a PowerPoint and all that shit. I said fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I made no plan. I freestyled my TED Talk. You know what I'm saying? I love that. And the best part is like the day before the event, I had to go and show them what I was going to talk about, right? And I was like, all right, and I got boom, and I hit them quick with the words and everything. You know what I'm saying? I gave it to them. It was a lot of information, right? And they were like, wow, that was really good. And they were like, are you going to be able to do that again? I said, fuck no, I'm not going to be able to do that again. And so the next day I showed up and I was like, I'm flipping the script on them. I'm going to Obama these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Which means the gravitas, the space, right? So I got out there. I'm going to tell y'all a real story about the TED Talk. And this is where the gem for you to understand it comes from, okay? I walk out on stage. Mind you, it was an incredible experience. Backstage, talking to different speakers. One dude got hit by a truck and flew 15 feet. He saw the Emerald Throne when he was dead. All kinds of shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And his moral of the story was happiness is something you don't have to get hit by a car and almost die to find. It's already there within you.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yo, check this shit out. I walked out on stage, right? You can watch my TED Talk. It's 4 minutes and 44 seconds. They told me I'd be like in the middle. They made me the closer. They were like, you're going to headline this thing.
Batista.
Yeah,
they're smart. They're smart group up there, obviously.
They can tell.
They're not like, dumb people. You should be the closer.
Also, I have a side question on this. You presented them this thing, but then what's to say you're going to do that same thing when they turn the cameras on live, right?
Nothing.
Did whatever. Yeah.
Nothing. It's time for a trust fall.
Be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Then I get out there and be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was never a piece of paper. Right. So I walked out and I looked at the crowd. And that's why I said chance is a choice is a chance. You know what I'm saying? And I said that shit, which ironically, it's funny how we got here. And I started talking, right? Now my homies, my teens in the crowd, my mom's in the crowd and shit. And I look, right? I look to my left, right? And there's this dude, man. Now this dude is what you call a dwarf, perhaps, a little person, right? Me and a little man lock eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect that shit. It takes a lot every single fucking day just to do something normal. Me and this man look in each other's eyes, and then his feet twitched, and I let go. His feet went like this, and I let go, yo. And then that's where the whole TED Talk came from. I decided I had to get out of my own way and present what the truth within myself. And the moment I felt like I was getting it was the moment to cut the cord and walk the fuck away. So you give the people the meaning, the message, and you get the fuck out their face because that's enough. If you give them too much, it becomes less. Yeah, so I gave. Yeah, exactly. And that's not what my message was about because life in itself, when it's articulated within the form of words, is approximate. The more I give you, the further away we get from the fucking point, which is understanding. And so if I can give you something that allows you to enhance your understanding, you can carry that with you. My job is done as the messenger because that's all I'll ever be. It's not about me. It's bigger than that. So when I got up there, I gave them what I've been through these things. I do this thing, but guess what? I use that and I say, what the fuck now? You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, oh, now what? Like now what? So I'm going to own this and I'm going to use this and I'm going to build with this because I am this. No matter what happens, nothing changes who you are, no matter who people may tell you you've become because of whatever the fuck you went through. And if you can't self-actualize and self-identify early on in the situation to see that you are great and have the seed of greatness within yourself, motherfuckers gonna steal your fruit as soon as it drops because you're gonna bear fruit no matter what.
You might not even notice it's happening.
Hey, look,
I hope you were listening, Chip.
Yeah.
What? No, we got to have you back
Yes, please.
and in studio the next time, because I mean,
Sure.
this is important stuff for people to understand, because I think I'm not going to do justice even responding to that.
No, there you go. Good job.
Shut up.
We should have hit him with you keep interrupting a couple times.
No,
in this segment, you've interrupted a few times, but we'll let you go.
I'm only to ask important questions.
Okay.
Hit me. What else you got?
All right. So let me close this by asking,
Yeah.
you know, you've got a new record that's coming out. We've been playing tracks from
Incredible
from your stuff.
Thank you.
I think this is the first interview you've done about the new record that comes out
in
November.
Right. Yes, it comes out November 3rd. We're gonna debut the first single, which is called For the Culture. Y'all heard that actually, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna debut that October 5th. It'll be on Man by Stars Records. We're gonna drop the pre-save links and all that bullshit soon. I believe we'll give you all a video too. This whole album for me is a different kind of thing sonically, and it's something I've been working on for a very long time and trying to find the proper way to release it. So I'm really excited about giving it to the people. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's called The Lie because nobody wants to hear the fucking truth. It's negative and nobody wins. But you know what? It's a good fucking time. And it's raw. And you got to ask yourself, is this real? Is this what happened? I'm going to let y'all decide that shit for once. Because great art's not to be explained. It's to be understood. You know what I mean? It's not to be underwhelming.
We're really
to
excited
a
for this
thing. I'm going to kill y'all.
Can you come back? Can you come back when the record officially comes out?
Please.
And talk about it here? Maybe even we can fit in a live performance?
I can't come back, but I can go forward. And I'm going to be there forward. I ain't coming back. I'm coming forward for y'all motherfuckers right there.
See, that's why we get great guests on this show. Whoever books these guests is amazing. All right. So, and where can everybody get the pre-saves? They can follow you. They can get all this information and stuff.
Everything I do is just like my name on the screen right now. It's BlackLiq. You can go to BlackLiq.com. It'll link tree the fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? You can find me on social media. It's all BlackLiq on every platform. All I ask is that you do two things. One is that you follow me, which is fucking weird to say. But two is that if you have something to talk about or something to say, or if you're just going through some shit, hit me up, yo. Don't act like you're a fucking follower or a fan, because you're a person just like me. We're on the same ground and we deserve to have interactions with each other that go beyond the slight nudge of a like or something, because this life shit is hard, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Used to be like that in 2009.
Yeah, but that's a tremendous thing. You don't see artists inviting people to interact with them like that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I want, yo.
That's what the whole purpose of this shit is for.
Yeah, it should be, but it isn't.
Not,
that's yo, please do that for us too while you're at it, I guess. Comment.
Yeah, smash their fucking button again.
Yeah, smash our button.
Like break it. Yeah, smash it and break it and crack your phone screen while you do it. And then trade it in for an iPhone 15 so you can get fucked by Apple again and get a note on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Then you can ask your friend with their shitty Droid phone for their charger, and you can feel like you guys have something in common again until you send them a video and it looks like shit, because that's the game. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And sadly, I played.
Before you get Mr. Apple here too wound up, let's just, that is, okay. That was everything. That was all the things at once. Okay, that was, what's the name of that movie with that?
Everything Everywhere, yo.
Yeah, that was Everything Everywhere All the Time, and that was BlackLiq. We're gonna play another track of yours when we hit the break. Tell everybody one more time where they can find you, follow you, and all the social medias and all that kind of good stuff.
I'm gonna give it to you all raw like this, yo. BlackLiq, BlackLiq.com. I ain't trying to Lindsey Graham y'all with that bullshit where I give you a site and tell you to fucking donate. What I'm trying to do is make sure you understand. BlackLiq. You can find me anywhere on every motherfucking thing. But what it's really about is connection. If you follow me, if you engage me, if you hit me up and say, hey, follow me back, I will fucking follow you back. If you leave a comment, you know what I'm saying? I might not be good at comments all the time, but I'm going to find you and I'm going to talk to you about this shit. But if you're going through a real difficult life scenario, that's what the fuck I'm really here for, because my life is crazy. I go through all kinds of heavy shit every day, but that's what I'm here for. That's what Nicolas Cage is here for in the background, too. We're going to steal the motherfucking Constitution because we got fortitude. So, let's link. Let's actually connect on this thing and not just fucking play around and posture and sniff each other's butts. It's BlackLiq, BlackLiq. And if you got pictures of cats, dogs, anything, send them my way because I love the kitty thugs. I love the animals. And shout out to the Richmond SPCA because I love the work that they do. And I love anything that's about saving and helping the animals, yo. Truly.
Hey, this is amazing.
I'm all for it.
Thank you, BlackLiq.
Shout out to Lindsey Graham.
Yo, hey, that dude, man.
And the ladybugs, too.
Yeah.
We love the ladybugs.
Lady G's a big fan of this show.
Not the ladybugs. You ain't have to bring that up, dog.
Hey, look, man, he brought it.
You ain't have to bring that up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to do that, yo. That's like the weird.
I love what everybody
It's
loves.
a school night. He's a teacher. Let the man go.
I'm aware of all these things. Like, nah, yo.
Ladybugs. I decided to do it today. You let it go.
I want to say also, you a man of your word. You wore the WRR shirt, and I really appreciate that, yo. And it's the Kitty Thug joint, right?
I asked my kids to pick which one, and they went with the one with the cat. So I didn't know that you're a cat person.
Yes, I am.
This
is a 2017 one, by the way. It's an old shirt.
Yeah, that's hard to get one, yo. I know about that shit.
Sustaining member a long time. So shout out to WRIR and everybody. Go be a sustaining member and support public radio, please.
Indie radio anywhere. Every platform, every independent platform. Support that shit. But yo, one more time, make sure that you go online and you fucking smash the shit out of these guys' subscribe buttons and all the weird following things like that. And you hit them up and you holler at them and you tell them whatever they do, never mention the ladybugs again.
Never
again. That is
again.
Off the table, dog.
That's off the table. Don't listen to this show because I'm not the one to bring it up.
That shit.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, BlackLiq, bro. I appreciate
you.
We're going to take a break. We're going to play another one of your records. We really appreciate it.
Such a great fucking interview. Such a great
interview. Yo, thank you.
We appreciate you, brother, man.
You're listening
God,
to
that was
Chip
good.
Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps!